Right, let's check the... Literally, I've cut it on twin flames. And the sacred flame on the other side. Oh, Lord. The connection, the soul connection here is between you and this person, not that other third party that they ran to. But I think they have mistaken it. I think they thought that that person was their divine connection. But it's because of what they have said. I can see it. And now where I heard leading them down the garden path, I can see a girl with their arm back, literally leading this man, I mean, into a house. That's what I'm seeing. So they have convinced them, I think, of that. But it was all trickery, deceit. And they're laughing about it now, the other person. They think it's funny that they tricked them, that they didn't know. And now they've potentially lost you. They must be aware of you, the other person. I think they're aware of you. Right, please tell me about this connection from the divine perspective, please. I think they're aware of you. You came in to create this connection came in to create balance for both of you. It was meant to create balance. Yeah, and knowledge. So you were meant to learn from it, which again is the point. That the cycles needed to be closed out, and they've repeated their cycle. That's the card I was seeing at the beginning, where I was saying your abandonment wound is much more complex. These are the complexities. That's what I was seeing. Interconnectedness, fate, destiny. Why do I feel like the abandonment wound, it's like it's entangled. I don't know how to make sense of this. I don't want to say... It's like the abandonment wound is entangled with them. But logically, obviously, my human brain is going, well, no, it can't be, because you wouldn't have been together as children. So I don't know how it's entangled with that. I'm going to be really honest, because obviously I can only tell you what I see and hear. I don't know how that's plausible, how it could be entangled with them, but it seems it is. It's meant to be unraveled together. It's meant to be like worked through together. This is intense. This is really intense, because working through that knot, unraveling that knot together of those wounds. I mean, this is the card for enlightenment. Spiritual awakening. It was meant to trigger huge awakenings in both of you. But with this on the bottom of the deck as well, and then the twin flames underneath it. You are cosmically intertwined with this person, but they've There's inner child healing that needs to be done here, and it's there's very deep childhood shadows here, potentially for both of you. I have a specific card in this deck that I have allocated very specifically because of energetic work that I do in what I call my garden, and it's heavy inner child work that's done energetically, and this is your energy is very intertwined with this person. But they've repeated their cycle, which is going to trigger a chain of events, I'm being told, because they need to be brought back into alignment. Because you're so interconnected with this person, I think it's being divinely guided. I don't think they're even going to allow it to pass by. There's things that are meant to be learnt here. There is an announcement coming. There is significant news coming within this dynamic. But at the moment, you're both being protected. So you may not feel their energy at the moment either, because you're both being completely shielded. But where you're being shielded at a crown and third eye level. So they're giving you messages through your dream space at the moment. So they will be coming through your subconscious. So you may be dreaming about this person a lot, or dreaming about things that are similar, significant, that tie in. But there is a lot that is meant to be learnt here amongst this journey. Because you're going through a phoenix. You're both going through a phoenix moment. You're going through a huge rebirth. Huge. Which again is why you're being protected at the moment. So that you can sit in that fire. This is crazy. I don't think I've ever done a reading that's come out like this. And this rebirth is just with the mirrors. You are divine mirrors. Oh my God. This phoenix moment is bringing you more stability. It's bringing you towards your core beliefs, like your soul purpose. And it's going to ground you and bring stability. You are divine mirrors. So you trigger self-reflection and truth in each other, which is likely why they were so bloody triggered. That they've just gone like a bolt out of the blue. Astrology influences might be significant at the moment too. This is a really long reading. This has gone on for a long time. It's just, this is so interesting to me. I want to get those black cards in a second. But you're being given messages at the moment from the unseen. There's communication that's coming forward, and it's to give you clarity, focus. Because where you're both being so heavily shielded as well from these energies, so that you're able to go through this huge rebirth, you won't feel their connection. So it's likely that you feel very, very disconnected from them at the moment. need to be very, very careful here when this approaches, because you both have such deep abandonment wounds. I don't want this information to make you think that you need to lower your boundaries and just accept this person back. This is why this is so significant, because this is such a huge cycle for you to close out. And when they come towards you, if they haven't worked through their cycle and they haven't truly closed that out, by accepting their apology and reconciling with them, you're repeating your cycle. This is going to be a tough lesson for you. It's going to be really, really tough. You need to recognize, and this is what I think, this is why the lesson is so tough, because it's so important that you're able to recognize whether someone is coming towards you in truth, whether they've learned from the scenario that they've been through and they're showing up with complete clarity, with complete truth, or whether they're showing up with a mask still. Because if they're showing up with the mask still, they're going to run straight off as soon as they get triggered again. Likely back to that exact same person. And you have such a deep, complex abandonment wound that it's going to be easy for you to mistake this. Please be careful. Please, please be careful. Do not, my God, do not repeat that cycle when you've come so far. I just want to check these cards for you. This is such an interesting connection that you have with this person. Please tell me about the collector's energy, please. This connection. So you are on a deep healing journey at the moment, where it's the cycles that are closing out that are bringing you deep healing. But again, so with this shapeshifter energy, you are somebody that does bend and mold themselves to be what you think that person wants you to be. So you like squash yourself down a little bit to be who you think they want you to be. But what you're doing at the moment, the things that you're working through, the path that you're on, is exactly where you're meant to be. And you are renegotiating soul contracts at the moment. That's interesting, especially with the cycles that are playing out here. And this part, the renegotiating of these soul contracts, where you're learning your lessons and then getting to move forward onto new soul contracts with new energy, with new people, is bringing you to this. It's bringing you to a place of wholeness. Okay, we're coming to some heavy energy because my little dog, I don't know why I say little dog. She's not little. She's a Cocker Spaniel. She's medium. She always comes and lays by my feet when the energy gets really heavy. And she's come over. So there might be something heavy that comes out of this deck. So you're somebody that is naturally a sponge. So you're a natural empath. So you absorb energies that are around you. So you're going to be very hyper aware of when someone's energy shifts with you. But I'm being told now that triggers your overthinking. So it's almost like you're aware of this, that you're an empath and that you absorb other people's energies, but then you manage to convince yourself that something else is you feeling that feeling when it's not. It's your overthinking. What did I say? That you're really working towards your soul purpose now. So that's your path. So the path that you're on right now is bringing you towards your soul purpose, what you're meant to be doing, the lessons that you were always meant to close down in this lifetime. And it's bringing you to a stage of restoration, rebuilding, healing, where you're really stepping into empowerment. This is about you taking back your power, taking back control of your life, driving it in the direction that you want it to go in, and not allowing other people to push you into this sort of energy where you're just being the person that they want you to be. This is like, no, I'm being the person that I want to be now. And you will feel so empowered, and that will bring you so much strength from breaking down those mental chains, I'm being told. And that's, okay, hang on, I need to move these up. I don't have room. It's the mirror, the reflection. So that's why these connections come in, to bring up these wounds, because they're mirrored back to you, which is why the other person has the same wounds, because then you can see it. But you do have very wounded energy from your childhood. So with the fours coming out here as well, there may be father. Fours is father energy. So it may be that the wound was created from father energy. So either the type of relationship you had with your father, maybe your father's not around, you don't have any contact with them, but the wounded energy links into father energy. So what you're being encouraged to do at the moment is to be an observer, be a witness. So sit back, watch what's going on around you. When this person approaches, be very observant. This is the point where you will need to establish whether they're showing up in truth, whether they're ready to meet you at your level, or whether they're coming in wearing a mask. Don't make any fast decisions. And it's okay to do that as well. It's okay to say to them, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed in the moment and I don't want to respond in a reactive way. I will think about it and contact you. You don't need to give an immediate answer. It's okay to take time to think about your response, to think about what you want to say back. And that in itself is going to trigger a transformation. With the butterfly energy, but you have this armor that is built up around you from this wounded energy that needs to be broken down. My eyes keep going to this knot card. And that's the card that I was seeing at the beginning about the complexities. That is significant. Celtic knot may be significant to you as well. But you are in a bit of a time of uncertainty at the moment. And that is testing you. But you're energetically, you are connected, you are hooked to this person. So you're going to be on a little bit of a journey together. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to end up in a relationship together. It doesn't always work out like that, especially with the twin flame dynamic. But you're very interconnected. Your energy, your souls are very intertwined. You're also somebody that's incredibly intuitive. So you have this inner knowing. So I think you know that. I think you're aware of that. That you're completely hooked intertwined with their energy. But again, this is very similar to the witness card. Look at where you're placing your energy. Who is around your table? Are they the best people to be around your table? Are they energy vampires? Are they draining your energy? This is why it's imperative that you're sat in this energy so that you're not inviting the wrong person to your table. Or not the wrong person, but the person too early before they're ready. And then they will continue to bring their chaotic energy, which will drain you and prevent this into your life. You are someone that is incredibly connected, so you are likely aware of this, but I feel like there's going to be a bit of denial here. You need to make sure you're listening to your intuition and not your overthinking mind. If something is playing over and over again in your mind while you're having this conversation with them, or shortly after while you're trying to process, that's your overthinking mind. That is not your intuition. Your intuition will come in as a flash. It will be fast. Make sure you're lit. Armor on the bottom of the deck again. That's lurking. Make sure you're listening to your intuition. That immediate flash that comes in. You are being protected at the moment. I said that earlier. You are being shielded at the moment. So you may even find that you've got the archangels around you a little bit. And you might be, so you may be a life path 9. What life paths have we got here? Oh, we've got quite a few, but I felt focused on that number. So you may be a life path 9. Could be a 5, a 4, a 2. That's what we've got here. But this is about going into that hermit energy. Sorry, my little dog, she's whinging at me. It's about going into that hermit energy, sitting in stillness, going within and listening to our own inner voice, our own inner teacher, and make sure that you're connecting in with that, with your intuition and not your overthinking mind. I'm just going to get you a few of my moon cards to wrap up, because this has been a super long reading. I don't want to go over an hour and a half really, because that's going to be mega long. But be very, very, very cautious when this person approaches, because it's going to trigger your abandonment wounds. There's a huge lesson here for you to learn. So I can only imagine what the rewards on the other side of that lesson would be like. Right, what guidance can we give my collective here, please, to help them move forward? Be strong. Discernment is key here, I'm being told. Discernment is key. Stand in your strength. So this says action. The first quarter is all about taking action, making decisions and moving forward with your plans. This represents the energy of action and encourages you to take the first steps towards your goal. So we've got Pisces energy here, the dreamer's imagination. This is a time for creativity, intuition, and spiritual growth. Use compassionate and intuitive energy to explore your inner world and embrace your dreams. So your dreams are significant at the moment. As this going within, with that Hermit card, there's something about going within, listening to your own inner voice. But your dreams, they're trying to communicate with you through your dreams at the moment. So pay strong attention to your dreams. What do you need to release? As the moon moves into the waning gibbous phase, it's time to let go of what no longer serves you. That's the abandonment wounds. That's repeating this cycle. You can move forward within this journey, even though the person you're connected to has repeated their cycle. You haven't repeated your cycle, so you need to focus on yourself and your own growth, and just leave them to whatever it is that they need to be doing. The divine will guide. They will put things in place, whatever they need to do to get them back into alignment. You don't need to worry about that. You need to turn and focus on yourself. But again, with the twin card, with the Gemini, the twins duality. Embrace the two sides of yourself and find balance in your relationships, harnessing the energy of the full moon's duality. So together, you are that duality. So that might be why your inner child lessons are so intertwined. because together you create that balance, because you're two halves of the same soul. So it's like, I'm going to say it because I'm being told it, but I don't want this to make you drop your boundaries. It's only in unity that you will find true balance, because they're the other half of your soul. But I can't stress enough, you will not get that balance by accepting back the unhealed version of them. They need to step into the divine masculine energy in order for that balance to be there. Otherwise, you're just repeating a karmic cycle. You are connected enough and intuitive enough that you can get through this lesson. You can get through this cycle. But this is why you need to sit in so much stillness, so that you don't miss it and mistake the mask and your overthinking mind for intuition and divine guidance. Can you hear that bird? Gemini and Pisces could also be significant here. So this is the time to surrender. You need to surrender to where you're being guided and trust the divine and trust the journey that you're on. But you've got some heavy lessons playing out here, so be cautious as you move forward. But you can do it. You're totally connected enough that you can work through these lessons. You've already closed out your cycle. You're moving towards that. You just need to not fall victim to this charming behavior, this apology when it comes forward. Stand your ground, stay firm in your boundaries, and you'll be right.